you kind of include different things in there to help the balance situation?
Well, first of all, stuff like this never bothers me. Anyone that thinks of me so much to give me a platform to speak about what I do and what I love, I take full advantage of that. I don't view this as stuff that I have to do. It's stuff that I get to do. So I appreciate your time. But yeah, man, it is an ongoing battle. And part of it is tough because I truly love what I do. So I want to be doing it all the time. I want to help people. I want to be involved with martial artists. I love it so much. And part of it is, it's like every time I get a message or, something like that, it's potential, it's a potential client. So, but I will say the most important part of my life is my wife, and you guys spoke to her about that. And she's been very good at keeping the cap on of like, hey, it's time for family. It's time for us, so, I'm getting way better at, listening and being good and turning off and also like, that stuff is going to be there tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm very fortunate where I'm not working with people who are, they're in desperate need of help, where if I don't answer them, something drastic is going to happen. I'm very fortunate that those are not the clients I'm dealing with. But also, one thing I'm learning from my wife and also with therapy is like, I got to take time to enjoy all the good stuff that I'm doing. The benefit of being remote and having a business like this is I do have freedom financially. I do have freedom of time. And if I don't take advantage of that, well, there's no purpose in it, right? So just learning every day to kind of turn off and smell the roses a little bit and enjoy my life and enjoy my family and play with my cats and little things like that make a big difference.
I love that so much. And yeah, as you mentioned, we have talked to your wife before, and she is, as you know, a fantastic woman. And so I kind of want to ask, since she is in the world of martial arts, I mean, she does train kickboxing. I believe she said was she going to try to take a fight or not? I forget. But
she's actually had more amateur fights than I have. So yeah, she is not ruling out another fight in the future, but right now it's family time, so we're looking to build our lives, and then if the opportunity presents itself later on, then maybe take another shot.
That's nice. Well, so I was going to ask, with her being in the world of journalism for MMA, is it hard to? I mean, you said she's the one that says to turn it off. But are you both kind of struggling with that? Because her world is even more 24/7 news all the time than yours might be, because of the fact that she's got to report on these certain things. So how does that work?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, she's really good at that. And I think she's really good at it because she has a long history in radio. So she knows when to be on, when to be off. It's a very easy switch for her, and she's been doing it her whole life. For me, it's different. So, we work together, and, but, her career is really just taking off now, which is great. She's getting all these sweet roles with different organizations. She works for Fight Bananas now, and she's working with a lot of regional promotions, and there's a lot of really cool news coming with Maddie, coming up in the future. But, it's going to be an interesting play on how we do balance that out. But, I think the beautiful thing is we have each other, and, we're not shy about giving each other those checks and balances in a positive way. And I think that's what relationships are all about. So it's really cool that we both understand the community and understand the space that we're working in. So, there's times when we do need it to be a marathon and we need to work. But there's also times where it needs to rest a little bit. So we both understand it and support each other. And we know that, between the two of us, everything is possible, and we'll make it happen. So it's just exciting, man. It's cool to have, people will say it all the time, right? If you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And to have two people in the same household doing that in the same space, it's really special.
Yeah, that's got to be such an amazing household to have that, because, I mean, I imagine there are so many people that do live the lives where, unfortunately, they have to work regular jobs, and then they come home and they're all so beat from working that regular job that, they just kind of flop on a couch and watch TV or, do whatever, just stare at their phones for hours, and, they don't really get to connect and share those things. And so it is wonderful that you both live in a world where you're able to live your dreams and, together. Yeah. So
yeah, for sure. You're not wrong about
Now,
that.
I did notice on the reel that they put together, do y'all have a queen size bed? Is that what I saw?
We do. What reel was that? How did you know that about us?
It was on the Origin reel. You guys, I think you were getting out of bed or something like that.
Oh yeah. That's very observant of you. Yes, it is a queen size bed. That's funny.
Well, so I guess I could say I'm a size king when it comes to beds. I enjoy the bigger bed. I am curious why y'all have not moved up to a king size bed.
It's on our list, honestly. We've been talking about getting a new bed forever. And I mean, we need the space. We like our room to be a little bit roomy, and right now we have a beautiful townhouse that we were very, very fortunate we got right before the market crashed in 2019. But and right now it's like the perfect size for us to start our family, and it's super livable now. But if we were to put like a king or a California king in our room right now, we'd have to reimagine the entire room. So I think right now the queen is doing its job, and we don't mind snuggling a little bit. So it's just enough room for the two of us and our two cats. But as soon as we relocate and grab a new home, I mean, I think we're going to jump straight to the California king because Lord knows I love it too.
Yeah, my ultimate goal is an Alaskan king, and that is like 8 feet by 8 feet, and I just want nothing but a room of bed is basically all I want.
Did you ever see like the MTV Cribs, the episode with Shaq where he has like his custom bed made? The thing is like a basketball court just for his bed. It's wild.
I was literally just thinking that, and his quote that he says is like, if anybody wants to make a bigger bed, I have room and I can make it bigger. And I was like, that's the most baller thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome that you brought that up because I think about that and I quote that all the time to people when I talk about bed sizes.
Yeah, man. He's definitely, well, he needs it.
He does. Yeah, which is ironic because like I think his wife is like 5 feet tall or something like that.
She's tiny, yeah.
But she can carry around him like a backpack. She's so strong. So I mean, good for them. It works out.
Exactly.
Now, what does a training week look like for you?
Yeah, my training is pretty consistent whether I'm in camp or out of camp. I try and keep my training relatively similar. Plus I love it. So it's not like training camp is this thing that, oh my God, I got to do this, Certainly the intensity changes, but it's one of those things where when I was younger, my coaches always told me, it's better to stay ready than to get ready. We just stay active all year round and, we just change the peaks and valleys. But, I do strength training twice a week. I have probably about 4 kickboxing sessions a week, and then I spar just once a week, and then I have a flex day where, I'll do some cardio or, I've really enjoyed like swimming or yoga. I mix that day up, more like active recovery. But yeah, I'm very firm on the 2 days a week strength and conditioning, only once a week sparring. And then the rest of it is drills, skills, pads, things like that.
Wow, because a lot of people obviously they will go, even more when it comes into hitting pads or sparring, or and then you have the other people that will go more strength and conditioning, just so they think that the stronger they are, the harder they can hit, which to a point, but you also have to be accurate. So
yeah, and I think it's important to have a healthy balance, in my opinion, and my philosophy, and what works for me, and what I've seen work for a lot of my athletes too. Is strength and conditioning is super important. The only way to hit harder is to have bigger weapons. You need to be able to produce force and generate that force, and running and doing body weight exercises just simply doesn't do it. That's research, that's science, right? So strength and conditioning will help you do that if you're doing it the right way. But your strength and conditioning should complement your skill training, because if you're just this muscled up freak, how many people at the highest level are, world champions and they just look like bodybuilders, so there has to be balance. At the end of the day, when you step in the ring or the cage or the pit, your skills are what needs to dominate. So strength and conditioning, in my opinion, is a complement. You should never be lacking in your skill sessions because you're beat up and sore from strength and conditioning. It's the same reason why I don't run. I don't run because it beats my knees up, and I don't feel like it's I don't get anything out of it. It hurts my other training sessions. So everything needs to be a balance, and it has to complement what I'm doing. And most important thing is sharpening my swords and my skill training. And then as far as sparring, I spar once a week because you only get one brain, so, you don't need, and I think when I was younger, I would spar more, obviously, but, as I got a little bit older, it's like, listen, I know how to fight. I just need to refresh everything and make sure I have good sparring partners that do the job I need. And, we have a great team, up here in the Northeast. We have a lot of people that cross train and a lot of world champions in the same room, and everyone has an equal mindset. So, we have great coaches, great people watching over us, and we all understand we're here to help each other, not break each other down. So, that's super important, and we get the job done.
I love that so much. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that think that, I mean, if your body can handle the running, that's fine. But like you said, just that constant, like, hitting of the pavement or even a treadmill is, even a track, even though it's supposed to be better for you, still, it's like that constant pounding, not on your joints in general. And I think a lot of people think that, oh, I got to start working out. I'm going to go run. It's like, okay, well, walk first, then decide if running works. Because if walking is hurtful for you, then that's not going to work out for you. So maybe try some other cardio, or just, as long as you're moving in general, I think it's good for you.
Big time, big time. I mean, and it's, everyone's different, so I'm not going to judge people. There are some people that absolutely love to run, and if even my students, I don't stop people from running, but unless it's taking away from their skill training. Some people love to run because it helps them get weight off, or, mentally they just enjoy it. They get that runner's high, and good for you. Like, go for it. I'm not going to stop you from doing that until it interferes with our progress. At that stage, then we need to reevaluate, but I just know for me, it's not for me.
Yeah. No, I'm same. I mean, my frame is too big, and I am not a fan of doing it. So I'd much rather do elliptical or Stairmaster or the row machine. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, and I'm just more on board with, like, what is the most specific way for me to get my cardio? And I would much rather do, a really hard, intense heavy bag sprint. And, my cardio has never been in question in any of my fights ever. And I thank my coaches for that. And it's always because we do crazy work on the heavy bag, more bag work, less running. That's really what it ends up to.
Yeah, I used to have a bag in my garage or my old garage, and I miss it so much. And I hope one day to get another bag so that I can actually do bag work again. So.
Yeah, there you go, man. Get into it.
Yeah. Now, as much as your job is physical, it's also very mental as well. So what kind of mental workouts do you try to do when it comes to after training, or just daily, or, as you're getting prepared for the fight and coming down from the fight? How do you kind of work all that?
Well, I mean, I do a lot of visualization. I like to, I take a lot of notes as well. I think that's really helpful in, just me being focused and getting a solid idea of, what I need to be working on. I watch a lot of video and watch a lot of film, do a lot of film study. But I also have a mental performance coach. I work with Dylan Nadler. He owns a company called MindLock, he's been blowing up, in the last couple of years, and he's got, champions in several leagues that he works with. But, we just do a lot of different things to, basically just keep my mind sharp and make sure that I'm doing the right things day in and day out to make the most of every session. I think that's what it boils down to, and learn how to compartmentalize all the, physical and emotional stress that your body goes through during, a competitive combat sport. And we do an awesome job of doing it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think more people need to pay attention to where they are mentally. Just give a mental check-in as to, like, okay, where am I at? How are things? It needs to be talked about even more than it is already.
I agree. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Now, I have a segment on the show. I call it the 5 count. I have 5 random questions. Just answer as quick as possible.
All right.
What is your favorite cheat meal?
Ooh, pizza.
You are from Brooklyn. Where is the best pizza place?
So the best pizza in Brooklyn, or just the best pizza I've had?
Let's go both.
All right. So in Brooklyn, There's a brick oven place down in Coney Island called Totono's. I'm a big fan